important because it deals with our future a lot. Like a lot. Because this is going to, what's been happening is going to shape our futures. And it's going to brainwash the next 2, 3, 4, 5 generations. What am I talking about? Influencer Joe Fels dies at age 40. The content creator was known for sharing his experience living out of a van, his work as a business owner, and spiritual life. That's on People magazine, I guess, is reporting this. Joe Fels, influencer, dies at age 40. Now you guys are, so what? Well, here's the thing. Do you know why he died at age 40? This guy is doing what I've been saying and what I've been doing and preserving all these years. And no, not living out of a van. Joe Fels was 72 hours from uploading the Forbidden Bible and the Palestinian maps that rewrite history. Then he was found dead. This gentleman here was doing what I do, collecting rare books. I've shown you guys my rare books and hard to find medical books and hard to find books published in the 16, 17, 1800s telling history. And I've been very vocal about this is very important because this is the digital book burning we've been warning you guys for the last 15 years. I'm not kidding. Now, let's go into this and see why he was. 40-year-old real estate investor turned off-grid pioneer was found dead on Monday, but here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. He was literally days away from releasing a digital archive that he believed will shatter the carefully constructed narratives that control our world. Which one is it? Well, we know the old and lost versions of the Bible. We've discussed this on the channel through our God files that we did, our God file. We talked about that. Books on Freemasonry. Okay, that's something else. Yeah, it's kind of out in the open. And writings from the around 50 years after. This is the key right here. Writings from around 50 years after the death of Jesus that show old maps of Palestine, rewriting the entire history of the region and challenging the narratives that have been used by Israel to justify decades of conflict. Right there. That's the one right there. So it's not saying that, they're going to debunk Jesus or anything. They just want to show maps of Palestine and rewriting of entire history that the region has, challenging the narratives that have been used by Israel to justify decades of conflict. Right there. And ancient texts, writings, and other historical texts. But believe me, this is the box that checked off his life. This is the box right here that they went after. Once he checked that box right there, they went right after him. This is really heartbreaking, and send his condolences to his family and prayers. And this is something very, 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 very vital because it's crucial. And we've been here, again, telling you, the race to erase the past, digital book burning in full force, CID. Deleting histories for a better future, digital book burning in full force, that was 3 years ago. Digital book burning, more deleted videos as people start to lose confidence in government, 7 years ago. They are erasing the past fast, digital book burning, CCP money laundering. Please help preserve and document current events now, digital book burning, reconstruct history 4 years ago. Look at all these videos we made this. Look at all these videos. Destruction of recorded history is on purpose. Major digital book burning, mass distractions 8 years ago. Digital book burning, America's first intoxication. Look, I'm reading from a history book here for you guys. My book, one of my books. And I'm saying this because I've said it before. And look at my channel. Look at my channel. And I was talking about, look, digital book burning, more deleted videos. Look at the videos I was making. I was calling out, this must have been, so this video is from 7 years ago. So this was 9 years ago now. According to this says 2, but it's 9. After School Satan Club. We were calling out After School Satan Club 8, 9 years ago when it was starting to take form and effect. in upstate Michigan. We were covering this. We were discussing about after school Satan. We were debunking Satan. We were debunking the whole idea, and we said it's evil. For the children don't need to. It's classic evil. And then around that same time, you know what else spun? And we were covering on our channel. What else spun at that time was after school story time drag queen hour in the libraries. And that was happening in that was happening in New York. Upstate New York was taking on drag queen story hour. And at the same time, the after school Satan Club was going, and we were going on to everything. Look, what if the economy did crash 100% in 2008? Like, we were going into a lot of conspiracy stuff back in those days, way back in the days. We even suffered a first channel termination in 2011. Was our first YouTube channel termination. What were we on? What were we talking about? That's basically so dangerous that they have to remove the channel, right? And removed other channel. And that's why I keep saying preserve old books, preserve clippings, use periodicals, preserve scrolls, preserve things. And it goes back to the analogy I keep telling you guys, the same analogy every time. In 100 years from now, not a single person watching this video right now live will be alive. In 100 years, nobody will. But you know what they're going to be telling kids at school? They're going to be telling kids that the United States of America went into to defeat the evil Saddam Hussein in Iraq. And they went in there and they found all these weapons of mass destruction in bunkers all over Iraq. And the evil Saddam Hussein was planning on blowing up the whole world. And if it wasn't for America to save the day, we wouldn't be here today. They're going to change history. We know there were no weapons of mass destruction. We know they didn't find anything. We know nothing happened. Well, the country got destroyed. But we know that there was nothing that they were accusing them of. But in 100 years from now, mark my words, they're going to be telling people that he did have weapons of mass destruction. Watch. And that's why we need to preserve physical texts. We need to preserve books.